A year has passed since Canal 13 director Aziz Orodjov was arrested on trumped-up charges in Azerbaijan. The director of the channel's Baku office was arrested in his house in the presence of his 3-year-old daughter and other family members. The journalist was charged under Criminal Code Article 206.3.2 on smuggling committed by a group of individuals and Article 188.2 on illegal construction without legal ownership. Orodjov has rejected both charges and believes his arrest has to do with his journalistic activities. The journalist's arrest has taken a heavy toll on his 2 small daughters who are waiting for their father's return. The video of the journalist's arrest last year had touched many people's hearts as it showed Orodjov's daughter asking her father not to leave her, with tears coming down her eyes. Computers, electronic carriers and documents were confiscated. Orodjov's wife said that she is concerned about Orodjov's health because he suffers from chronic diseases. The journalist's mother, Almaz Hassanova, who is 74, said she has been forcefully separated from her 2 sons. Aziz Orodjov, who is in jail, and the founder of Canal 13, Anar Orodjov, who is in exile for political reasons. One of my sons has been slandered for his journalism work and jailed. It will be a year since he has been in prison. My other son has been in exile for over 10 years. I cannot see him. This is the worst torture for a mother, Hassanova explained. She demanded that her son is released from the prison. I'm sick and can't walk because of the problem with my legs. I have tumor in my head and cirrhosis of the liver. None of my 2 sons are by my side to help me, she complained. It should be noted that this is Aziz Orodjov's 2nd arrest. He was first arrested in 2017 and sentenced to 6 years in jail. However, the journalist was released on parole after a year upon a Supreme Court decision. It was only 6 years later that Orodjov was jailed again on trumped-up charges. Aziz Orodjov has been recognized as a political prisoner by international organizations. International press freedom and human rights groups have widely condemned the arrests of journalists in Azerbaijan. Canal 13 produces programs on social and economic topics, presenting, among other things, positions of independent experts and opposition politicians.
The deployment of peacekeepers in Ukraine won't solve the conflict, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said Friday. Asked about reports of a possible deployment of international peacekeepers in Ukraine, Peskov said Russia has previously stated the conditions for a settlement of the conflict. We need to solve the issues that caused this conflict, Peskov told journalists. Everything is much deeper than the deployment of the peacekeepers' mission. Asked about the Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba's statements on Tokyo's desire to resolve the territorial dispute with Russia and reach a peace treaty, Peskov said Japan's unfriendly steps hinder any substantive negotiations. Peskov also said Russia hopes Syrian authorities will quickly restore order after thousands of Syrian insurgents pushed on with their advances on government-held areas in Syria's northwest, reaching the outskirts of the country's 2nd-largest city Aleppo and wresting control of several strategic towns and villages along the way.
Размещение миротворцев возможно только согласие сторон того или иного конфликта. Это раз. Во-вторых, у нас есть абсолютно четкие параметры, необходимые для урегулирования. Это 2. И, конечно, для выхода на траекторию урегулирования, конечно, нужно решать проблему первопричин этого конфликта. И здесь все гораздо глубже, чем направление миссии миротворцев. Япония полностью солидаризировалась с недружественной линией стран коллективного Запада, присоединилась ко всем незаконным санкциям, ввела ограничения на наших эконом-операторов и так далее и тому подобное. Все это является недружественными шагами, которые, конечно, в настоящий момент полностью препятствуют каким-либо субстантивным переговорам на этот счет. Что касается ситуации вокруг Алеппо, то, конечно, это посягательство на суверенитет Сирии в этом регионе, и мы выступаем за то, чтобы власти Сирии скорее навели порядок в этом.
Thousands of insurgents continued their advance on Friday toward Aleppo city, seizing several towns and villages along the way. The offensive comes as Iran-linked groups, who have backed Syrian government forces since 2015, have been preoccupied with the wider Middle East conflict engulfing Lebanon and Gaza. These are the areas that we are currently in the process of liberating: Mazanat, Didreya, Kafr Halab, Sheikh Ali, and the neighboring areas where the Iranian militia and the Assad militia were stationed and were bombing civilians, said Hussein Najjar, a fighter within the ranks of the Military Operations Department. Abdulmajid al-Khatib was displaced from Kafr Halab by the conflict with the regime, but he returned on Thursday. "We were forced to flee our town because of the repeated bombing by aircraft, vacuum missiles, barrels and all kinds of weapons that Bashar al-Assad and his army used to bomb my village, which led to destruction that forced us to flee to the camps," he said. "When I returned yesterday and today to the village and found it liberated, it was an indescribable joy for me and all the people of the village," he added. Some insurgents even breached Aleppo on Friday after blowing up 2 car bombs and were clashing with government forces on the city's western edge, according to a Syria war monitor and fighters. It was the first time the city has been attacked by opposition forces since 2016, when they were ousted from Aleppo's eastern neighborhoods following a grueling military campaign in which Syrian government forces were backed by Russia, Iran and its allied groups. Witnesses in Aleppo city said residents have been fleeing neighborhoods on the western edge of the city because of missiles and exchanges of fire. The government did not comment on insurgents breaching city limits. Syria's armed forces said in a statement Friday it has been clashing with insurgents in the countryside around Aleppo and Idlib, destroying several of their drones and heavy weapons.
ضمن عملية ردع العدوان لقد تم تحرير هذه المناطق التي نحن الآن في صددها: ميزانات، جدرايا، كفر حلب، الشيخ علي، المناطق المجاورة التي كانت تتمركز فيها ميليشيا إيران وميليشيا أسد التي كانت تقصف المدنيين. والآن الحمد لله بعد دحرهم عن هذه المناطق إن شاء الله ستعود المدنيين إلى قراهم سالمين غانمين بإذن الله عز وجل.
احنا اضطرينا للنزوح من بلدتنا بسبب القصف المتكرر بالطيران والصواريخ الفراغية والبراميل وكافة أنواع الأسلحة التي قام بشار الأسد وجيشه بالقصف على قريتي بلدتي، مما أدى إلى تدمير، مما اضطرينا إلى النزوح إلى المخيمات. عانينا في المخيمات معاناة قاسية كتير، الشكوى إلى الله. لكن أنا وقت اللي رجعت امبارح واليوم على الضيعة ولقيتها محررة كانت فرحة لا توصف نهائيا، أنا وكل أهالي قرية كفر حلب. سلامي يا حبيبي. أنا وقت اللي فت على البيت صح أنا انزعجت إنه البيت مهدم، البيت مخربينه، لكن الإزعاج تبعي طغى عليه الفرحة بأنه أنا وقت كنت ضمن البيت لقيت فرحة كبيرة لا توصف نهائيا، مما أدى إلى نسياني بخراب بيتي وخراب ضيعتي.